guitar works simply by putting your finger on a string, squeezing it tightly, and then playing that string. But this action doesn't necessarily have to be performed from our own fingers. Introducing the capo. The capo is simply a clamped device that we use to hold down the strings on our guitar. Here's how to use a capo. First, hold it like you would a gun. Squeeze tightly like you're pulling a trigger. You should notice that the capo opens up nice and wide. It's important that we squeeze it tight so that the mouth of the capo opens up almost all the way. Hold the capo above the neck of the guitar. Squeeze tightly so that it opens all the way, and then place over the neck and over the strings of the guitar. Then simply let go. If you've done it correctly, you should be holding down the strings on the guitar. If you can't quite get your capo on properly, you may not be squeezing tight enough. So if you need to, try using 2 hands. Once your capo's on correctly, it should cover all 6 strings on the guitar. If you're having difficulty putting your capo on in the right spot, simply put it on as much as you can and then let go. From there, you can squeeze the capo and adjust accordingly until you get your capo in the right position. The best place for a capo is usually the front of the fret. Here, if I capo 3rd fret, you can see that I'm really close against the 3rd fret bar. Not on it, just very close to it. You'll also notice that my capo is nice and straight. It's not crooked like this. So the ideal placement is usually straight and next to the fret bar. On some occasions you may end up with some bent strings. As you can see here, my G is very, very crooked. In order to fix this, simply hold the capo, squeeze tight, which will allow the strings to re-straighten, and then let go. When the capo is on the guitar, all it's doing is holding down the strings so that I don't have to. The sound of the string is the same, regardless of whether it's the capo or my fingers that hold it down. Here's an example. 5th fret on the low E with a capo, or with my finger, capo, finger. The note is exactly the same thing. There is a slight change to the name of the note, however. The capo is basically cutting off my guitar, which means we're not using anything behind it. Therefore, this is now considered open. From there, 1st fret will be afterwards, then 2nd and 3rd and 4th. Although the sounds of these frets have not changed, it's the name of the fret that has changed. So if I capo 5 and then need to go to the 1st fret, that's actually 6th fret on my guitar. If I take my capo off but I want the same sound, I have to go to fret number 6, which is the same location, just a different name. Usually capos are left on for an entire song. However, you can do some fun things with the capo. Here's a song that we can play using the capo, but not my fingers. Whether or not I use the capo or my own hand won't make a difference in the sound, but it sure makes a difference in the difficulty. There are many different types of capos. This one is usually called a trigger capo because you squeeze it like the trigger of a gun. There are also different size capos which apply specifically to different designs of guitars. However, if you purchase a classical capo, it should fit pretty much any guitar you come across. I recommend going cheap for capos. After all they need to do is hold down the string nice and tight. I really wouldn't recommend spending any more than about $15 on a capo. Thanks for learning about capos with me. If you have any trouble using yours, get in contact with us over at ultimateguitaracademy.com/contact.